and tea. The good morning light is here. It's time to start the day. Yeah, it's time to start the day. views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by the channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. And yes, we are going to rejoice and be glad in it. And I am so excited to come before you. It seems like anytime we miss a day, it seems like it was eternity. So, good morning. I'm asking each and every one of you all to do me a favor today. Let's do a little evangelizing and tag somebody, not just share the page, but let's actually tag somebody, especially those that need to be a part of bridging the gap. We know that on Wednesday we have what we call Wisdom Wednesday, and we have Brother G that comes on and drops some nuggets and teaching us. Did you hear what I said? Teaching us, Pastor Anna Lyons, of how to understand where they are in this time. And so we're just excited about what God is doing. I definitely want to say my howdy do's to those that have already joined. I see Elder Richard Clark seemed like as soon as I went on, he was right there with his finger on the button to let me know that he was watching us this morning. And also to Pastor Anna Lyons, and to the Dean herself, Mother Margaret Feaster. God bless you. Thank you for joining. And for those that will be coming on at a later time, I was talking to Pastor Sean Brock's mother on yesterday, and she was saying that now that she's back, she works for the school system. She says she's back at work, and sometime when we come on, it's like right in that transitional time of her getting out of the car and getting into the school. I told her, don't worry about it. You can come back and watch it. That we have many people that come back and watch it after we've broadcasted live. But to you all that actually are able to come on in the morning, I appreciate you so much because it's you that gives us the push to keep doing what God is doing. I want you all to continue to pray for us as we finish out this quarter of the year. We've got so many things on our calendar, and we've got some things within the next couple of months a couple of weeks actually, that we will be announcing as far as what our direction is for the remainder of the year. It has been a busy year, and we still got things on the table. We'll be doing some traveling. Actually, once I finish this broadcast today, I will be heading out to pick up a bishop as we travel to Albany, Georgia, where he has to minister tonight. Then we will be coming back. And then we've just got such a busy schedule on this coming Friday and Saturday. We'll be at the Lord's house for a powerful intercessor conference. And so just keep us in prayer. Like I say, our calendar, we appreciate what God is doing as far as filling our calendar, being part of different conferences and convocations and everything. And I'm just convinced that we're in a season now where God is looking for us to do what he's put in us. Did you hear what I just said? The Bible lets us know back, Elder Clark, that in Jeremiah 29:11, that even before we was formed, he knew us. And so he already had put in us. A lot of times people don't realize that what's in you was put in you at the beginning. It just didn't come about. It was already in you. Now it's time for it to manifest itself out. I was sharing with someone on just last week that how I don't take for granted the fact that I went through certain things in life. I truly believe, and I know I got some witnesses on the line, that you go through those things in life with the what I want to say, with the approval. If I could use that word, hear what I'm saying, with the approval of God. In other words, nothing can happen to us without God allowing it. I got scripture to back that up. All we got to do is go to Job and find out that he's got to give permission for anything to happen to you. Now, here's the thing. You still need to be in the will of God to make it through. And so I understand that some of the things that I went through in life were just so that I could be who I am now. Did you hear what I just said, Pastor Anna Lyons? And so when we look at it that way, when we look in that rear view mirror and we realize where God has brought us from, we don't have to sit there and pout and whine and moan and all that, but you're supposed to raise your hand and say, Lord, I thank you how you brought me through it. And now here's the key, Mother Margaret Feaster. Here's the key to that. He did that so that you could be beneficial in the kingdom. It ain't even about you no more. Did I tell you something this morning? It ain't even about you. A lot of times we think that things that we, oh, it's me, it's woe, it's me. No, God is using you to be beneficial for his kingdom because that's all it's about. It's his kingdom, as I used to tell people all the time, it's his ball and his basketball court. And we've got to act accordingly on it. So we're just excited. You can see the smile on my face. I'm just as happy as I could be because he did this, Elder Clark. He woke me up this morning. And the mere fact that he did that lets me know that I have a purpose in the kingdom today. Getting tongue tied, but I have a purpose in the kingdom today, and so that's what I'm pressing towards. I'm not even complaining. Sometimes we sit there and we say this. How you doing? And you say I can't complain, and then sometimes the person will come back behind and say, yeah, because if you did, wouldn't nobody want to hear it? And that is so true. We've got to be able to stand even in the midst of the storm. Understand this. Take your umbrella and put your rain suit on and weather the storm, because guess what? If he allowed you to be in it, he's going to bring you out of it. Did I just say something to somebody this morning? So we are waiting on our host to come on. He already told me, he said, Dad, I got something for us today. And I am excited about that. But I want you all to continue to lift up the entire body, not just one or the other, but lift us all up. And here he is. I see him on here. So let me bring him on in. Good morning, Brother G. How you doing this morning, sir?
What's up, bro?
All right, all right. Well, you told me on yesterday evening, say, Dad, I'm coming on a little
Don't,
earlier today.
don't be just throwing me. We talked. We talked.
We talk. That's what I'm saying, bro. Come on, man. Don't beat your dad up so early in the morning. But how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. What about yourself?
All right. I can't complain. What's on your mind? You had something on your mind. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about do we think success is beneficial too early?
Mm.
The perfect way for us to reference what we talked about.
Yeah. And we actually was attaching names with that. That
Yeah, I would say it
sometimes your name
means a lot more.
yeah.
Carries a
Go
lot
ahead. Hmm.
to it.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
the example we talked about before we discussed, I use the example we talked about before we discussed. So
Okay.
what we was talking about was, for anybody that know anything about, tennis, Coco Golf. Coco Golf is the, number 3 tennis player. And for all who do know, if you don't, I'm letting you know. I'm putting you on game. She's 21 years old,
Uh-huh.
ranked 3, and she jumped on the scene a couple years ago, out of nowhere, and won a major. And when
Mm-hmm.
she won that major, she started getting compared to Serena because she was just so young, had so much promise. They seen her
Yes.
up. They just, she the next one. You know,
Uh-huh.
and so when once they attach your name to a great, well, you really don't have the grace that
Mm.
that is that is what's the word I'm looking for, that is, I guess, fortitude for you. Like, you
Yeah.
get grace in life, you get grace in sports,
Mm-hmm.
you get
Mm-hmm.
grace to, and we talked about this, and we're gonna really get to the meet and greet, but let me finish off. So Coco is the 21-year-old, and she's got compared to Serena, long story short.
Uh-huh.
She won the one major a couple years ago and hasn't won another one since. But you know, I was throwing out to you, and we just started this talk. I was like, and it just kills her every time she loses. You
Yeah,
know, every
yeah,
time she
yeah,
loses, she beats herself up and
yeah.
makes it seem like it's the end of the world.
Right.
You know, as we kept talking, but I was like, but she really don't understand. She not supposed to be winning against these certain
Yeah, yeah,
individuals.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, and so like when she loses to the number one girl and loses to, you know, the number two girl, or loses to somebody that got more experience than her, you know, it crushes her because she
Hmm.
thinks, because what the media has said to her, she
Yes.
thinks that she's supposed to be winning these matches. And
Uh-huh.
for real, like you said, no, she's really just following the process,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and everything has a process. Um,
Whoo. Come on.
and, you know, and you know, so you know, she beats herself up about all these losses, not knowing that your time is gonna come. You know,
Yes. Yes.
like
That's
we
right.
always, like the saying always says, you know, tomorrow, tomorrow is coming. You know,
Hmm.
so you know, you 21 years old, the best girls in the, you know, one and two, they're in their prime right now. You're
Right.
20, you know, you 7 years. They
Right.
say your prime don't start till you 27.
Right.
You know, 6 7 years from your prime. And though you have won, though you have seen success, you know, that does not, you know, mean
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
you
That
know,
you've
that
arrived.
what is
That you've arrived.
expected. That
Yeah.
is what, yeah, that you arrive. That is what
Yeah.
in your realm.
Yeah.
See, it's the media, it's the outside
Yes.
sources
The outside. Yes.
that puts on the pressure that a lot of times the inner circle doesn't even do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that goes with, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, and it's so important that your community that you
Yeah,
have around you, your support system that you have around. One of the things, just to add to that, I'm gonna give it right back to you. One of the things that I really thought was so awesome was the individual that she lost to walked over to her and said, "Don't go to the shower and cry. Come out here right now and take your rightful." In other words, she was saying, listen, you don't have to be ashamed of anything. In other words, I'm not gloating that I beat you, even though deep down I was supposed to beat you. You follow what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right,
Because it wasn't too long ago that I was in your shoes.
yeah.
But going back to what you're saying, the process, and that's what we have to be so willing. I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish, then I'm gonna bring it to the other side. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, but yeah, that's what. So you know what I was saying was, you know, it's the outside sources that a lot of times put the pressure on you that the inside circle is not even doing. And I thought what you was gonna say was basically what I was gonna say is you have to make sure that your inner circle is not keeping you humble, but at the same time, you know, keeping it real for
Yeah,
you. You know,
yeah,
like, and we always talk about the individual that has the inner circle that exists as just as a yes man, and
yeah,
how that, you know, negatively impacts their trajectory of what they
right.
want to become.
Yeah,
So you know, of course, you got to have the right inner circle, but
yeah,
at the same time, you know, I think, you know, what we trying to, you know, not even what we trying to say, but everything does have a process though.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
and that goes for, you know, like I said, that goes for the real world. That even goes
yeah,
for the job hiring.
yeah,
The job hiring is a process. You
yes.
know, I'm in a process. Hopefully, I think I am, but it's a process to the process. You know,
Yeah.
you got to do, you know, you got to do
Right.
the, and you got to actually, you know, you got to apply. And then you got
Hmm.
to do the interview. After
Hmm.
the interview, once you get in good, now they got to do a background check on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a process before you actually get to that successful part of it. And you know,
Yeah.
that's with your job, that's with, you know, sports, that's with your life, you know,
Yes.
with, you know, everything we do. You know, we got to understand it ain't, you know, it ain't no fast food restaurant. You know, you
Come
can't
on.
microwave, you know, you can't
Yes.
microwave
That's right.
success.
That's right.
And you know, even though we might see the individuals that it looks like that's what somewhat
Spurts
they,
of it. Spurts of
yeah,
it, though.
that they have done, you
Yeah.
know, and to be honest, I even hate that mentality that, you know, I understand if it happened to them, it can happen for you, but
Yeah.
why not put in the necessary and the work that is required to be successful, because it makes it even more sweeter. You know, I was thinking about this a couple days ago. I don't want to look up into success. I want it to be earned, not
Earned,
based off of me just dying and sweat and tears, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying if I seen $10,000 on the ground, I'm not gonna pick it up.
No, pick it up, son. Pick it up.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
pick
that,
it
but
up.
but I
Run
am
to the house.
right,
Don't even
right.
look around. Just
Yeah, I
pick it up
ain't
and run to the house.
gonna tell nobody. But no, but I am saying that, putting in work feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It
Well,
feels
let me throw this out to you, and then I'll turn it back over to you again. Because your name can only get you so far. Your name might get you in the door, but then you got to have something to back that up. Going back to, if we want to go, we got two individuals right now that come from strong names. When we're talking about football, and that would be the Sanders name and the Manning name. And both of them are looking at it totally. I mean, well, they're not so much looking at it, but going back to how you're saying how the media treats it, and
and,
that's what we have. Going back to what we was talking about, your community and everything. So run with that, and then I'm gonna bring it. Like
and,
I say, I'm gonna bring it over to the spiritual side. But go
and
ahead.
even and with the Arch Manning situation, it's on the total spectrum on the other side of from Coco. So
Yeah.
Coco in a breath does know that one day she's going to be making the
Yes. Uh huh.
Arch Manning. What I was talking to you about over the weekend, I was like, dude, I cover football. I cover high school football. I cover college. I cover NFL. I got a podcast coming out, Fourth and G's coming soon. Stay tuned. Trust me.
Yes.
Don't want
Yes.
that. But I cover sports, man. And what I was telling when I was explaining to you, Texas got 7A, 8A. He was playing in 2A in
Right.
Texas.
Right.
So it wasn't like he was waking up every Friday and having to deal with a 5-star,
Yeah.
having to deal with a 4-star, having to deal with a 3-star. No, he was playing the local teams. He wasn't playing private. He
Right.
wasn't playing he wasn't playing up in age.
Protected.
He was playing regular football.
Yes.
But at the same time, that might be his process.
Yeah.
The thing is, he might not be good enough to be at no private school.
Right.
So why be at a private school when you're not ready for that?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and, and so we even talked about how his grandfather made it known, like, no, Archie is going to play two full seasons in college.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody took it for like, oh, he throwing smoke and mirrors because he don't want Cleveland to draft
Right.
him. He don't
Right. Right.
want
Right.
Orleans to draft him. And he done reiterated like 3 times. And then we
Yeah.
watch him play on Saturday, and we look at each other and was like, well, maybe his grandfather wasn't
Grandfather.
serious
Exactly.
about playing
Yeah.
2 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the process
Yeah.
is required for him to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you get the media that sees the last name, that see who your grandfather is, that see who your uncles are, and they automatically put him into this category
Mm-hmm.
that he has not even ordained himself into.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So now he's getting the unfair side of the bargain, because we
Yeah.
have him at a pedestal that for real, he doesn't even view himself as,
Right.
or his inner circle. And why do
Right.
we know that?
Right.
Because he didn't play private in high school.
Yeah.
And look, this is another thing for this, legendary and generational. When you generational, it's visible.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams was generational.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we know he was generational? Because it was a dude starting in front of him. He took the guy's place and never relinquished it.
Right.
If Arch Manning was so generational, if Arch Manning was such this player that we thought he was, for 2 years he sat behind somebody
Yeah.
that went
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
7th round in the
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
This same individual got hurt. Arch Manning comes in the game for him, and the dude comes back in the game when they think that he better.
Yes.
So, like going, just to bring it, full circle, you know, you're going to have outside sources that
Yeah,
really dictate what you are supposed to be doing in life based off of what you do in life.
yeah, and
And it's the job of the inner circle and yourself to understand the process, to
yeah,
understand where you at in the process, to
yeah,
understand where do you fit in the process. All of us don't fit in the same
yeah,
spectrum.
yeah.
We got the elites, we got the, we got the all stars, and then you got
Hmm.
you got your average player, then you got your Joes.
Yeah.
The Joes already know you got to work a little bit harder than the elite. The elite
Hmm.
already need to know that they got to work hard to stay elite.
Yeah.
So we all fit on different parts of the spectrum, but you do need to understand that everything you do in life has to have a process, and your circle needs to understand what the process is. You can't have we talked about this a long time ago. You can't I can't Dad, you can't we can't say that we in the thing together and you want to be dealing with what's in chapter 5 while I'm trying to finish chapter 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, I want to say while you were talking, Pastor Hicks came on. Thank God for you joining us, and then the bishop himself, Bishop Reed, and I really enjoyed his podcast on last night. And while you was thinking, it brought me over to the spiritual side of it, G, and to tie this in. And I said, sometime your name will get you in the door or get you at the table. But then once you get there, you've got to be able to still produce. And we have to be careful. And I know I got Bishop to back me up on this. We've got to be careful of even how we push people within the church realm.
Yeah.
Of they sung good. So now all of a sudden, oh, they need to lead all the songs. No, no, that just was a song that they sounded good on. You follow what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because at the same time, I've heard them sound that they just need to be in the choir. You know what I'm saying? Oh he preached the house down. He had a good sermon. God used him. We
Mhm.
have to be careful of how we help individuals through the process, because
Yeah.
as you were saying, all of us are going to go through a process of
Yeah.
life, and no, everybody's not going to be the number one. And you
No.
know what? And that's okay. You follow what I'm saying? Because when you truly understand that you're a part of, I always share this when we talk about the championships. Uh, uh, Certain teams, now I don't know if all the teams, but I know certain teams have even honored the water boy. Did you hear
No.
what I just said? The
Every.
tower boy, everybody that's associated. Why? Because they realized that if they weren't doing their job, guess what? That means I got to step out of what I do to do that. And so we have to also, those that have been allowed to be in your circle. Come on, follow me with this. Those that you have allowed to be in your circle, that they're not just pushing you, but sometimes they saying, "Hold up," you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they saying, "Do it this way or do it that way." Now, that as we say, that's why we have coaches. Amen, somebody. That's why we attend classes. That's why we have mentors. Because if we didn't, G, we would be out there, and here's the truth to it, and I'll give it back to you. And the real world will eat you up. Because guess what? They will put you on a pedestal. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth anyhow. And I know I got some witnesses on here. They will put you on a pedestal just to be able to knock you down. How many times have we seen from the sports side of it on a Friday how whatever's going to happen over the weekend? Oh, I mean the whole segment was based off of what this individual is going to do, and then come Monday morning, the other side of them come out. Well, I really didn't expect it, and this that. Well, all I got to do is go back to the tape of how you built this individual up, and so we've got to be careful, and that's why I enjoy our segment of bridging the gap, because it's important for me as your dad to sometime push you, but at the same sometime pull you back. You follow what I'm saying? Because if I allow you to go out there too far, A lot of times, here we go, and Bishop Reed might get me. Well, we on the same boat, and Charlie can laugh with this one. Neither one of us are swimmers. Come on, if the truth be told, ain't no sense us trying to act like we are. So I'm going to tell you, if I do go to the beach, if I do go to the pool, you better stay within my safety zone. In other words, don't go out too deep, because if you go out too deep, you're on your own. And so it's important that we keep those individuals that God has assigned us to, because I believe everybody has assignments that God has assigned us to be upfront with them, motivate them when they need to be motivated, but at the same time be willing to pull back on them and say, not so fast. Because here's the thing: as you go through the process, you're gonna have some good days and bad days. Did I say something? You're not gonna. It ain't gonna always be a hard day. Some days, you go. I've watched you bragging down how you can just drop down and knock out your 30, 40, 50 push-ups. And I just look at you and I say, amen, somebody, because I know I can't do that. But then there's some days you just not in the mood for that. And so we have to be there in the good days and the bad days. I'm going to go ahead and give it back to you to close us out.
Yeah, I was gonna go back to the point where you were saying if you're not the number one, then that's okay. It I'm gonna go halfway on that particular because you do got people that are going to be a number one. But the thing is, the thing that you see, and I'll just keep it at sports, and I'm gonna stay there because I was sitting here thinking of other ways that you can bring that up, but I wasn't able to. So it is what it is. But with sports, you do a lot of times have somebody that potentially can become the number one, but is behind another number one. So you have to
That's good.
find you
Yeah,
got
that's
to
good.
a
That's good.
lane, and you got to find your own lane in y'all's lane. And
Uh-huh.
one thing I want to make known is the only lane that you got is your personal lane. That's
Yes.
only on your personal time.
That's good.
That's the only lane that you are for 42 by yourself.
Yeah.
Everything else that involves group, team, exercising, building, jobs, this, that, and the third, family, you don't have a personal lane when you talk about intertwining with them. Now, when you
Uh-huh.
want to do your own shindig, then yeah, go do your own thing. But anything that is involving that, no, you find your own lane inside of that. You feel me? Because a lot of times people are like, oh, if I just make my own lane.
Yeah.
Well, you'll just always be making a lane, and then the lane will never be made because
Mm.
you don't got enough time in the day to make a lane by yourself. If you gonna sit
Ooh.
on the road, don't nobody make the lane by themselves.
Come on. That's good.
So
That's good.
you can't just keep walking around with this idea of, oh, I just make the lane on by myself. No, you won't. It will never
Yes.
get finished, and all you would do is end up making another lane, and end up making another lane, and end up making another lane. No, what you do is you find yourself in that lane. You
Mm.
might be the guy that has to put the gravel down. You might be
Mm.
the guy that's putting those yellow stickers down. You
That's
might be the guy
good.
that's
That's
putting
good.
whoever might be that main person, the number one might be the one that's telling everybody what to do. And you might think that just where you're supposed to be at. But right now, the process says, no, you're going to be that guy that's driving that gravel on the ground.
Mm.
Because what happens is if you think that you're supposed to buck the process and you supposed to be the one calling them shots, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to just call my own shots. Now you got to go find somebody that's going to put the gravel down.
Ooh, that's
Now you
good.
got to go
That's
find, now you
good.
got to find another crew because you can't
That's
take that
good.
crew.
That's
Now you
good.
got another crew. Now you got to restart. You got to restart a lane that was already halfway built.
That's good.
All because you wanted to, you feel me, be somewhere that you wasn't supposed to be at that particular time.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we talk about, these lanes that we want to find ourselves in and finding our life in, understand this. You don't got no personal lane, man. It's
Ooh.
individually mindsets in this world thinking that is going to lead to success, or that makes success feel greater in the inside. No, it don't. And for real, if you look into the Bible, if you look into really real motivational speakers, if you look into anything, individuality is a loser mentality.
Wow. That's good.
It's
That's
a loser
good.
mentality. If you look at anything in the Bible, but God don't talk about individuality.
Mm. Oh,
God preaches team building.
come
God
on. Come on,
God,
preacher.
God don't preach, go get it on your own.
Right. Yeah.
When story, I done looked it up in my terms, not in the Bible terms. I ain't put in no
Uh-huh.
verse and all that. I talk to Google like it's a real person. Find me the
Right.
verse I told him to do it on his own.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Bro,
That's
find
good.
me ChatGPT. Find me
That's
the verse
good.
where we supposed to be doing this on our own.
That's
Find this on a
good.
verse where I should feel like I'm big and bad if I do it on my own. You
Yeah.
can't find it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
So
That's
this
good.
idea that you think that you doing something when you do it on your own, or you poke your chest out and can say it out loud, what you want, a cookie?
Woo.
Because that ain't, first of all, a lot of times people think because they did something that puts them closer to the envelope.
Right.
No, it's a lot of times you could be knocking down. Look, put it like this: you could be knocking down that branch, that log on the tree, and that tree still good. That tree still not moving. So you really working. You working for what? What's the point of not? What's the point of completing something and then God saying, yeah, but you ain't do it the right way.
Oh, come on. Come on, man. Come on. Lord have mercy.
So
Lord.
it's like, you feel me?
Yes.
Nothing,
Yes.
nothing. When I be looking in the Bible and stuff, I read the NIV version, and then I always take it to sports, and I don't
Yeah.
always take it to sports. I always take it to football. I
Yeah.
know football like the back of my hand. So if
Yes.
I put this verse, if I can put David into Jalen Hurts' mindset, then that's
Uh-huh.
what because that's what's
That's
going to help
good.
me
That's
understand
good.
what
That's
I'm trying
good. I like
to
that.
say. And when I be reading these Bible verses, when I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk about on Wednesday, when I need to figure out where I need to go at, now I can go to a football story. And if two
Uh-huh.
and two add up, then obviously they in the same envelope. I was talking to my girl the other day, and I was like, you know what I like about the Bible is when you look into the Bible, dude, those stories be stuff that is really happening on to the real world right
Isn't that
now.
something?
It
Isn't that
make
that's awesome?
make it so much easier
Isn't
to
that
want to believe
awesome?
that it's real.
Yes.
Like, it makes it
Yes.
easier to believe that it's what you want to believe that it's real. Even if you don't want to, it's hard for you to believe that it's real when you see
Uh-huh.
a story and it sounds like this dude is somebody that is next door to you. He's dealing with the same things you're dealing with, but it's a Bible story that
Yes.
was a million years ago.
Yes.
You be like, dude, like, it make you want. I want to believe this is true, even
That's
if you
right.
can't right now. Even if you don't got as they say, the faith of a mustard seed. Even if you
Uh-huh.
don't got that, you want it though, cause you like, yo, this real.
Uh-huh.
So to make a long story. He don't talk about nothing individuality. He don't talk about no solo missions. You know,
Lord have mercy.
and for real, and we'll say this for another time because I got to do a little more research before I even dive deep because I don't want to talk crazy. But a lot of those solo missions ain't turn out right in the Bible.
Okay. All right now.
You feel me? Let me do a little bit more research so I can really talk
So
with
you can come back, huh? So you can
with my
come
chest
back.
out, talk with my chest out. But
Yeah.
for a couple of those solo missions, they didn't
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so it preaches team chemistry, team
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good. That's good.
longevity with each other, this, that, and the third. So understand that the process got to be the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta find you gotta go through the process, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Like I said,
and
because if
and
you don't want to go through the process and you think that you gonna just hop the lane, bro, you'll be switching lanes. You feel me? You'll be
yeah.
that driver
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's switching lanes in traffic, and
Yeah.
then you go 30 minutes down the road, and you like, oh, that's the same drop. You ain't go nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I stayed in that same lane,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
30 minutes later, we at the same spot,
Yeah.
and you switching lanes, switching lanes,
Yeah.
switching lanes, thinking that you going somewhere, but you really not. All you doing is really you pausing, stopping, slowing yourself down
Mm-hmm.
instead of staying pat, finding yourself in that lane.
Yeah, that's good. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you, brother G. You
No
look,
time.
you didn't let us down at all today. Looking at the chats came in, the bishop said, I might have to bring him in on a Sunday morning. Watch yourself now. But God is good. And at the end of the day, everybody has to go through a process. And I would just say this, that be careful of your circle. Because if they're always patting you on the back and saying everything is all right and you got you this and you that, you might want to check that, because all of us have highs and lows, and you need
Yeah.
somebody there for the entirety of it, not
Yeah.
just when you're on the mountaintop, because the truth to where you are is when you're in the valley,
Yeah.
how you survive. So look,
Right.
we thank each and every one of you all for joining us today. It is the middle of the week. And as I always say, you can look in your rearview mirror. He's brought you through 2 days already. And for some of you all that work the Monday through Friday, you've only got 2 more to go. Listen, y'all pray for me as I get ready to get on this road to go to Albany, and we get down there and do our kingdom assignment tonight. For traveling mercies, we will be back on Friday, and I've got a powerful woman of God that's going to bless us on this coming Friday. Listen, encourage somebody today. Give somebody a hug. How about that person that's been on your mind and you haven't text or called? Try doing it today, because one thing I found out, we need each other. God bless each and every one of y'all. As always, G, I love you, man. Not with some of my heart, but with all of it. And to the Faith and Tea family, we will see you again. Keep us in prayer as we do the same thing for you. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. And we're out of here.